WMBG FM 97.7 and AM 740. We are Williamsburg's radio station. Ty Hodges here. It is Thursday. It is 3:15. It is time for the Super Sound Showcase brought to you by Culture Fix. And we have a blast from the past. One of our first Super Sound Showcase artists has returned to our studios sporting a different look than he did back in March. Wyatt Baldwin here in studio. Wyatt, welcome back to the studio, man. How you doing?
It's great to be back.
So it has been a while. I showed you this picture that we had from your first performance here. You look like a completely different person now. The big difference, obviously, being the hair. You have opted to be blonde now instead of the brown hair. How did that come about?
I guess I got really bored, and I was actually trying to go gray, and it dyed my hair green because we did the gray wrong. So I was like, let's take the green out. Let's just be blonde.
So you were actively trying to go gray?
Mm-hmm.
You know you're supposed to try and avoid that as long as possible, right? You're supposed to resist that until your 50s and 60s.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always done it my own way, though.
I would expect nothing less because Wyatt Baldwin, like he said, he does it his own way, and he takes that over to his music as well, and it works out really well for him. So Wyatt, you were here almost a year ago now. What has changed for you musically in that year?
Started working on an EP and recorded 5 songs for that are getting mixed now. Hopefully have that out in the spring. And started playing drums for another band.
Okay.
Yet to have a name yet, but and Prana started recording a new EP. It's a whole lot of things happening in a year. It's hard to focus on one thing. I don't know. I guess I'm here to talk mostly about the EP.
Okay, then let's jump right into that. Then tell us a little bit about the EP. What was the inspiration behind it, and how has this whole development process been?
Well, I started recording it in June of last year. I didn't really have a band I was playing with regularly, and I had a lot of songs piling up, and I needed to put something out, and so I talked to my friend Corey, who plays for a couple bands around here, and he said he was starting to produce music, and I went in and just did one single, thinking I'll give it a try, and we recorded 3 Sisters, put that out.
Sounds great, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I really enjoyed making it, and when it was finally done, I was like, okay, well, let's do 4 more. We can do a whole project like this, and it's very different from what I do live because I mostly, when I play solo, I do acoustic music, and it's blues and folk inspired type of stuff, and this stuff is well, I don't know, we played with a lot of different stuff, and I'm just well, I've never had strings on a song before, and I would throw it on there, and it's much more of a pop influence thing. I wouldn't really want to call it pop because it's because the idea behind it was basically to get folk music, make it fresh and make it seem current to me.
Well, what we were talking about off air is you kind of described a dancey jazz almost, something that people can dance to and stuff like that. Is that kind of in the ballpark there a little bit? Yeah,
well, the way I wanted to keep the blues tradition going is that stuff was always dance music when it came out, in the 30s and 20s, that's what people danced to, and it made people happy. It would bring you down, it'd bring you up, and so I just wanted to do that with blues music. I didn't really want to be a part of the blues music today. That's kind of very wants to stay the roots and be just almost kind of so close to tradition that it kills it and doesn't have any life left. So I wanted to do something very new with it. And they're all blues, chord progressions and stuff, because that's all I play is blues and folk stuff. So it's it's at the core that's what those songs are. But and then they get glossed over with this very, very beautiful arrangements and very fun stuff. So I'm really happy about it.
So it sounds like you're kind of going for a blues renaissance type of deal, a reimagining of what blues music can sound like and what it can achieve.
Yeah.
Is that kind of in the same?
I guess it's just like I've always looked at blues differently. I mean, I guess that's just the way I see it. I mean, I'm sure people like would rather me like do like something like more traditional. It's like that's what they see blues as, but like I don't know. I think it's more in the heart than like the sound of it, really, of what blues is. A lot of stuff today is influenced by that, whether they know it or not.
Well, that is blues incarnate right there. It's all about that soul, that emotion. And, I'm not entirely sure it really matters what it sounds like ultimately. If it has that same heart, that same passion, that same direction, it's blues. It doesn't matter if it has a heavy sax on it or anything like that. It's blues. If it's blues, it's blues.
Yeah.
You kind of know it when you hear it. And so you had talked a little bit about the ups and downs that music makes you feel, and that's kind of fitting because the name of this EP is Elevator Music.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how you came up with that name and what that means to you and how it kind of summarizes this whole project.
Well, it's like Elevator Music. I wrote a song that had the line, when I listen to the air, I hear my own words taking me to every floor in my mind like an elevator, and that I guess like I named the song Elevator Music because I felt that like it was like music itself is a ride that you get on and it takes you up, it takes you down. It's more of a catalyst than like an end goal. Like I don't think like songwriters are like necessarily like storytellers that like want to get to like a truth of anything. They just got this sentiment that you can get on for a little while and go on and up off it. And like that's basically what I was trying to do with that EP, was just have something that's like enjoyable to get on, and like you can there is a story to the whole EP hopefully, and like you can pay attention to that, but also if you just put it in the background, it works that way too. And like that's what I enjoy about music. It's like there's so many different elements to it that like just about anybody can do it for listen and get into it for different reasons. And yeah, and like I also thought elevator music would just be like kind of funny. It's just like people thought I was doing elevator music. I don't know, it's kind of a self-deprecating humor there.
I understand that completely. And so if people want to be on the lookout for this, how can they stay on the lookout when Elevator Music actually drops?
They can follow me on Facebook, or they could find me on Spotify. And it's pretty easy. If you type in Wyatt Baldwin to Google, like either my Facebook or Spotify will come up, or you can just search on there. I'm also on Instagram, but I'm not as big on Instagram as much as those two. I also have SoundCloud that I'll have some singles up on too. And
we have determined that you are not on Twitter.
No Twitter.
No Twitter. I
might get on Twitter though. That's not a bad idea.
I think you should get on Twitter. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I think Wyatt Baldwin would do very well on Twitter. I think so. Just a stream of consciousness.
Yeah,
I think that would
like
work well.
Bathroom tweets and like...
Exactly. Bathroom tweets are the best tweets. if we're being honest with ourselves. Wyatt Baldwin here on the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Culture Fix. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Wyatt Baldwin will be performing for us right here on WMBG FM 97.7 and AM 740. We are Williamsburg's radio station. Stay tuned. All right, we are back here on the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Culture Fix. Back in studio with Wyatt Baldwin. He is chomping at the bit to play some fresh music for us. Wyatt, welcome back into the studio. So we got a couple songs on tap for today. What is the first one that we're going to hear?
This first one's a new one I haven't really played out yet. It's called Your Kiss.
So is it fair to say that this is a world premiere?
Sure, yeah, we call that.
This is a world premiere. We're going to claim it. World premiere, Wyatt Baldwin, Your Kiss here on WMBG. Wyatt, take it away.
Sun is setting behind those rocky peaks. Castles cascading light beams illuminate our faces in the valley. It's a shame you look so fair, 'cause this might be the last night we share. Sitting side by side is coming to an end. I can't visit you anytime soon. You'll have to live in my heart, just like you did from the start. It's so disappointing hearing everybody saying that I'm stuck on you, 'cause I know it's true. And you can't say I'm boring when I'm breaking all you hold on to, and you know it's true. I've got no choice than this. I'll miss your kiss. Just like kids playing outside, we break up and go inside alone. No one warned us about this inevitable ebb and flow. Now I can't get your smile out my head. Never thought these memories would make me wish I was dead. It's so disappointing hearing everybody saying that I'm stuck on you, 'cause I know it's true. And you can't say I'm boring when I'm breaking all you hold on to, and you know it's true. I've got no choice than this. I'll miss your kiss.
Some fresh Wyatt Baldwin here on the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Culture Fix. Wyatt, I am thrilled that you debuted that song here on our show. It is wonderful. And you've got one more lined up for us. What are we going to hear right now?
Well, this one's called Serendipity. This one's going to be on the new EP. On the album, I did a duet with Emilia Styles, who was actually on here.
Friend of the show, Emily Styles.
last year, yeah. She did a verse, and like we sung chorus together. I'm pretty happy about it. Like, it's one of my favorite ones to do live.
All right, well, let's hear it. Wyatt Baldwin here on the Super Sound Showcase.
Searching for the answers to the questions they call important, but all I found was confusion at the end of some man's political rant. But then I found you in the corner of the coffee shop. I was playing that, and afterwards we talked for hours, all the while hoping that good night wouldn't be our last. Serendipity, thinking not hating is the same as loving, 'cause it feels alright when the phone is buzzing. So you pick up your head and pay no mind to what they're calling difficult times. Hey, you got your way, and I got mine. Good night, I'll see you soon when I can see you again. I guess I could use a friend on those summer nights when I feel like telling who, what, when, and where I've been. I've been all over beholding beauty's horror. Now opportunity to see just don't exist when you're alone. But now I see, thinking not hating is the same as loving, 'cause it feels alright when the phone is buzzing. So you pick up your head and pay no mind to what they're calling difficult times. Hey, you got your way, and I got mine. It's just you and I, two little rats stuck in this race. And when I see your face, I don't feel so lost. Can you get me out of this concrete maze? I do not feel in control of anything happening around me. And why should I be when life's unpredictable, like the ever-growing branches of a tree? Thinking not hating is the same as loving, 'cause it feels alright when the phone is buzzing. So you pick up your head and pay no mind to what they're calling difficult times. Hey, you got your way, and I got mine.
Wyatt Baldwin here on the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Culture Fix. Wyatt, a great performance as always.
Thank you.
Just as good as I remember from about a year ago. If the people want to hear you play, where can they find you out locally?
Well, this Saturday I'm going to be playing at Brass Cannon on Moortown Road here in Williamsburg, and tonight I'm actually hosting an open mic at Retro Daddy-O. They just opened up at a new location that's also on Moortown Road. It's right by the Ross there, but it's a great space. We got a stage, we got lights, we got coffee, we got musicians, we got comedians, we got everything. So I really hope some musicians listening to this would come out and play some songs for us, or just lovers of music. You'll see all types of musicians from the Burg around.
Well, I would encourage everyone to check Wyatt out where he's performing, and I would encourage you to stay on the lookout for his next project, Elevator Music, which you will be able to find this spring, Q1 2018. Wyatt, it's been a pleasure having you on again. Thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank you for
continued
having me.
success.